If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Player Performance, the morning show, Sunday, June the 15th, 2025. A suddenly not so casual one, Father's Day 2025. Happy Father's Day to everybody. We got a big card today. MLB, the indefinite project that is so gigantic. We're going to give you guys a great conversation. We encourage you guys to get in the chat. Hope everybody's feeling live and well at this early hour. Gunz Picks, what's going on, brother?
Man, I had a beautiful day yesterday on Saturday. Went 4-2-1, 3-0-1 on my top plays, 2 unit bangers. So seeing the board pretty clearly in the MLB as of late. I think 3 profitable days out of 4. So we're on a little bit of a run in the MLB. Got to continue it, though. Got to continue the momentum. The spots are a little bit specific in this one. Less spots, lower volume. We'll touch on that later in the show. But I can't wait to get into this card chart.
Yeah, no, as you said, sometimes these cards are better or worse. I thought yesterday this card was going to be very available for us. I obviously took a small loss yesterday. VIP clients, no apologies. It is 162, 6.5 months. We're going to get in there right now. MLB Player Performance on this Father's Day 2025 starts right now.
I live the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Sundays are for the Sharps. Big card, big conversation. First game, 12:05 in Detroit. Cincinnati at Detroit, Interleague Baseball. Not exactly a matchup you're looking at with a huge amount of emphasis here. Wade Miley, at this point, more notorious for being Tyler Skaggs' drug dealer than actually pitching in Major League Baseball. And Detroit pitcher Sawyer Gipson Long sounds like a main character in like an 1800s novel. But here we are on a Sunday. We're going to give you guys a look at every game. Gunz, I was looking at this morning, and I'm being honest, I was laughing a little more about like the craziness of this matchup than actually finding an angle in the game. Do you have anything in this?
Yeah, he sounds like a teen heartthrob from Home Improvement or something like that. That Sawyer Gipson Long, blonde-haired kid, all the 12-year-old girls just, gawing over this guy. But when you look at this game here with Wade Miley versus Sawyer Gipson Long, the problem with this game, not a lot of data on these pitchers, right? You have Wade Miley. He's got 1 start under his belt. It was the game ended 7-4 versus Cleveland last week. The over line on that one was 9.5. Sawyer Gipson Long on the other side. His expected ERA is 5.82 where he's 4.32 ERA currently with a 1.08 WHIP. Only 1 start this year for him, and that was against the Chicago White Sox. They won the game 5-4. Not a big sample size with these 2 pitchers. I looked at this for maybe 2 seconds. And it was just an immediate pass for me. I thought there was better opportunities on the board.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, we really have nothing in this one. Wade Miley, 1 road start in this division. It was interleague at Cleveland going back Monday night. He did not pitch particularly well. 5 innings pitched, 9 runners on base, basically a 2.0 WHIP, 3 earned runs. Kind of got away with murder, if you will. A 7-4 win. Wade Miley getting away with drug deals and murders in MLB. I think maybe gets a heat check today coming against him with the Tigers lineup. I see some of our guys in the chat. My guy Jay, what you doing, says we're coming crazy in the D today. I wouldn't disagree. Take Detroit to the money line, if anything, and we'll keep it moving. Next game on the card, 1:35 in Baltimore. Angels, Orioles closing the series here. A lot of intrigue here. We said this to you guys yesterday. We did miss the handicap. I had the Angels full game. Gunz did have the first 5 that pushed. We told you guys yesterday, Tyler Anderson is not a very good road pitcher, and Tomoyuki Sugano is not a very good home pitcher. Well, here we are today. Same story. Yusei Kikuchi is pitching terribly on the road, particularly at early first pitch times on Eastern time. And Cade Povich is really utterly pedestrian. Top look in this game for me, giving you guys a VIP play right off the bat. Let's cash this one. Take the first 5 over 4.5. Gunz, any thoughts?
You say Kikuchi, I say Cade Povich. A little bit of wordplay humor here on a beautiful Sunday morning. I looked at this game a little bit, saw both sides of this one. Kikuchi on 2.92 ERA, 4.7 expected ERA, which would lead to higher totals when you're dealing with Kikuchi in the future. 6-1 straight up in Kikuchi's last 7 starts, 7-0 to the run line too. But this is him as a short dog here. When he's a short dog, Kikuchi is 1-6 straight up when he's a dog of plus 150 or less. So take that with a little bit of a grain of salt there. Then you got to look at Kikuchi. He's done very well versus the AL East too. He's 4-0 to the run line this season versus the AL East. On the other side with Cade Povich has a 5.46 ERA, 1.52 whip, 6.09 expected ERA. Baltimore is also 1-4 straight up in their last 5 home starts, 3-8 straight up in their last 11 when Cade Povich is the pitcher. But when you look at these two ERAs versus their expected ERAs, and then knowing that you have Kikuchi here as a short dog, maybe you're looking at the expectation, like you said, Shark, more on the giving up a lot of runs side, knowing that Kikuchi has underperformed as a dog this season. You're probably right there with the first 5 look. I lean towards the over in the full game on this one, but I'm not making this an official play.
Yeah, just going through the environment here. People are saying in the chat that pitchers got changed here. I just was looking at some of my sources. I did not see that just yet.
Yeah, I just saw it. They got Blewett in there now for Baltimore, so it's not Cade Povich.
Oh, okay. In that case,
he's going in there for an inning, and then they go with Cade Povich. I've seen that happen before. I don't know what the dynamic is on this one.
Yeah, and in that case, the bet is voided because we're always pitchers dependent. Yeah. So that for VIP clients, that is voided, and we will keep it. We will keep the conversation going here. Obviously, this is Major League Baseball. There's a lot of moving parts, but the cap is centered on fading Yusei Kikuchi. So from a free play standpoint, ultimately it does become difficult. But I don't think Kikuchi is going to perform in this position at all. Our guy says he likes the Angels. Let me potentially talk you off that, Daryl. If you look at Kikuchi in terms of his actual start-by-start environment, it's very specific, and I think it's symptomatic to veteran pitchers. Veteran pitchers are much more consistent home versus road. Kikuchi is an ace at home. 35 1/3 innings pitched, only 4 earned runs. You go road, he actually has 2 wins at the National League West. He beat the Dodgers and he beat the Padres. But if you look at what he's done at the AL East specifically, which is when I introed this game, I said precisely Eastern time zone games, 11 innings pitched, 14 hits, 8 walks, 7 earned runs, and his only road matinee start of the year on Eastern or Central time was at Minnesota. His worst start of the year by a mile. 2 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 walks, 4 earned. That's hard to do, to have 13 runners on base in 2 innings. As I said, we just got voided on our play. It's unfortunate, but just that is the story of this game. Expect Kikuchi to look very poor in this environment, and we will keep it moving. 1:35 p.m. in Atlanta. Rockies, Braves. We said it yesterday. Spencer Strider due for a win. He got a win, and we did call the under correctly. I got the Braves hat on today. I was joking with Gunz. Mortal lock, minus 365. Let's bang it. But that all being said, I think there actually is some upside to Colorado this afternoon. Austin Gomber, making his first start of the year off the injured list, did actually perform great last year on the road in the back half of the season and aced Atlanta in Atlanta. 8 innings pitched, a 3-1 win. Nobody wants to back the Rockies. They just set the worst record for 70 games since 1899, which is somehow – that's mind-blowing for me. But, Gunz, could we somehow get to Colorado plus 1.5 here?
I mean – I didn't really have a lot on this game, just knowing that Gomer's coming in for his first start of the year. I don't know what his dynamic is, how healthy is he going to be ready for this game? And yes, you did say He's done very well on the road, and he's done well against the Braves historically. But originally, when you looked at this cap, I think they were going to go with Chris Sales, but now you're seeing Holmes that's in there now. So they did another pitcher swap there. For me in this game, I just kind of passed on this one. Don't have a lot of notes on it, and I wanted to. There's just better opportunities on the board than this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right, because the original game line opened at minus 588. I mean, talk about an unbelievable line. But that was a Chris Sale line. It did reopen at minus 360, which for Holmes is still like a whopping figure. Just looking at the run line here, this is, again, slightly speculative, but you can get Colorado at plus 1.5 at plus 137. I mean, that's quite decent value, particularly just to emphasize again, Austin Gomber really pitched great on the road last year after August 1st. Just going through his numbers really briefly, as I mentioned, he did ace Atlanta. But last year after August 1st on the road, 34 innings pitched, so a pretty big sample, only 25 hits, 10 earned runs. So it was actually very consistent. Just a speculative point, I think the best look would be plus 1.5 here for the Rockies. And our guy Josh says this has to be a rookies spot. Braves already won the series. Rookies and Rockies, it is Father's Day morning. We agree. Take the Rockies at plus 1.5, have some fun with it, and let's keep it moving. 135 in Washington, D.C. First divisional game on the card. The Nationals really insulting people right now with this lack of quality. I had them yesterday. I thought they'd win. They did not. They got aced by the legendary name Jansen Junk. Where do they come up with these names in baseball, Guns? I mean, what is the deal? But this got to be some sort of spot today. You got Mackenzie Gore on the hill. Any thoughts?
I do have some thoughts as looking at the total here. So you have Yuri Perez. 12 ERA, 2 whip, 3.08 expected ERA because he's only got 1 start under his belt and he got shelled. 3 innings pitched against Pittsburgh, 10-3 loss. Total in that game was 8. And then you got Mackenzie Gore, 2.88 ERA, 1.12 whip, 3.06 expected ERA. Gore lost to Miami on the road, 11-4. Previously this year, minus 146 favorite in that situation. Now you're seeing them as a heavy favorite, probably leaning towards more of a Washington side, knowing that they're kind of like needing a win in this series. But you got to look at Gore. Gore is 0-4 straight up versus divisional opponents this year, but the over is 4-0. And you can say, well, this line is pretty low as far as we're seeing 7.5 on the board, I believe. But the overs have been hit in those games with Gore at a line structure of 7.5 and 8.5 anyways. So if I was a lean on this one, not an official play, of course, I'd probably lean towards the over, thinking there's going to be some runs scored in this one, especially, well, we have to look at the weather too. The weather, of course, in the DC area, like I said yesterday, a lot of rain coming in the area, so there may be some stoppages if they do play this game, or it might get canceled. We'll see what happens, but I lean towards the over in this matchup.
Yeah, this is a tough game. And I see the chat kind of going both directions on this. People saying the Nats are so bad. Some people say Miami's got a getaway game. They're not going to win. It's going to be hard for Miami to get a sweep here. But I do think they're capable of it. The Nats have not backed Mackenzie Gore particularly well at all. He's 2-4 straight up at home. He is by far the best pitcher for this team. He just gets very inconsistent run support. And, speaking of run support and the total, it's also difficult to read here because this guy, Yuri Perez, a 22-year-old for the Marlins, projected ace in the future. I mean, the guy's got incredible natural ability. He's coming off an entire year off due to, I believe, arm surgery. Only his second start, did not look good in the first start. And it's a combination of probably being uncomfortable, not having pitched in a year, and also just being very young. So I do agree with you. You're going to see runs in this game. And I think that the Nationals bats are due to awaken in this game because yesterday, as I said, fairly incomprehensible effort, tried to get there in the 9th inning. They actually had 2 runs in to get it to 4-3, bases loaded, 1 out, and could not get another run across to tie the game, which for me and those who tailed the bet yesterday was very frustrating to open the card. if I had to lean any direction, I would lean Mackenzie Gore to pitch well. I think he's a stopper. I think he has absolute ace quality stuff. I think Perez is sketchy. Over's a top look. I think that you have to lean towards the Nationals in this game. However, take the Nationals if you want to play this game. We said this yesterday. We don't love laying minus 180 on the favorite side, particularly for bad teams. It's just not a great spot, but that is the conversation of that game and keeping it moving. Much better access in the following game here. MLB Network national game. Yankees Red Sox at Fenway. Closing the series, Yankees trying to avoid a sweep. Yankees really poor with the bats the previous two nights. Garrett Crochet aced them outside of an Aaron Judge ninth inning home run, 2-1 Red Sox. Last night, 4-3 Red Sox. I think this is where it completely reverses with emphasis this afternoon. Max Fried on the hill, facing Brian Bayo. Gunz has the hat on. I don't think that's a buy hat today, Gunz.
It's a fade hat today. Listen, I told you this. The Red Sox are my team, but I'm not afraid to bet against them. It's about money here, folks. It's about investing. And I think this is more of a Yankee spot than it is a Red Sox spot because you got your best pitcher in the lineup playing today with Max Fried. 1.84 ERA, 0.93 whip, 3.33 expected ERA. If you want to look some of the total trends on this one with the New York Yankees, 4-1 to the over in Fried's last 5 starts. But he's pitched very well inside the division, 3-0 straight up into the run line this season. And also look at what he's done when he is a heavy favorite. We're talking minus 170 or more, which is the case in this situation. New York is 8-1 to the run line, 9-0 to the money line when Fried is a favorite of minus 170 or more. So that tells you that this is going to be a dominating game for the Yankees. And then you got Brian Bayo. Brian Bayo has just been a gas can. He's got a 3.96 ERA, 1.55 whip, a 5.25 expected ERA. Boston is 1-5 straight up in Bayo's last 6 starts and 5-1 to the over, by the way. Boston is also 1-3 straight up when Bayo pitches as a dog. And he's a heavy dog here. I think the heaviest dog he's been all season long. I mean, you could look at the over tendencies too, because Max Fried is a left-handed pitcher. Boston is one of the best teams at hitting lefties, so you may see some run orientation there from both sides. But I think this is more of a Yankee story. I think the Yankees trying to avoid the sweep, coming in on this early game. It's not a primetime game like it was last time. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, and I think it's going to be more on the Yankee side than it is the Red Sox side. Give me the New York Yankees minus 1.5 as the official play. I also lean towards the over as well.
Yeah, no, as I said when I entered the game, I expect a complete, utter reversal from the previous 2 games. I think this is a Yankee win, and I think it's an over as well. And as you mentioned, Bayo has not been good at home, but I think even more specific than that, home matinees. This guy's a young pitcher. I believe he's from the Dominican. That people were saying in the Boston area, they were looking at like a young Pedro. Of course, that's a bit of a reach. I mean, Pedro, absolutely Hall of Fame quality. Bayo's still very young and figuring it out, but he hasn't figured it out in the matinees at Fenway this year. 3 starts, 13 innings pitched, 20 hits, 11 walks. I mean, that's almost a 3.0 whip, 9 earned runs. And his only home start on a Sunday early time was May 18th against Atlanta. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 5 walks, 7 earned runs. I think the Yankees bats awaken here this afternoon. Giving you guys a free play in this one. Collaboration with the gun. Take the run line at minus 1.5. And final point on this, I just want to mention this as well. Obviously, with Garrett Cole injured this year, Max Fried is the ace for the Yankees. Carlos Rodon is 1A. Number 1 is Max Fried. And he really is a high-level competitor. This year, in games following a Yankee outright loss, he is 4-0. So it's not just the fact that he's good in the division and Bayo's bad on weekends. Max Fried brings a focus and a playoff intensity off a Yankees loss. And the Yankees lineup, interestingly enough, actually gives him a lot of run support. And we've talked about this before. Oftentimes when the ace is on the mound, the bat's kind of quiet for the day because they just think, oh, he's going to shut it out. We don't need to score. No, the Yankees like this guy. They vibe with him. The lineup backs him. I could see the Yankees scoring about 9 or 10 runs today and winning this game about 9-3. So let's cash that one and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, more interleague baseball. Blue Jays, Phillies in Philadelphia at the bank. Ultimately, an interesting game here. Jose Barrios, second consecutive road start, coming off a good road start. Second time this year, back-to-back road starts for Barrios. Last time, same pattern. Road start one, very good. On a weekend, went to Baltimore, had one of his worst starts of the year. I think Barrios today is going to get hit early and often. Gunz, you align.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a more of a Philly spot here, but I'll talk about how I'm going to be playing this game in a second. With Barrios, 3.38 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. He has an expected ERA of 4.52, so expect some regression from Barrios in the future. Toronto has won Barrios' last 3 starts too. So like I said, this regression is coming. So just be prepared for it. Toronto is also 0-3 to the run line and money line when Barrios starts, when the total is 8 or less, which you have in this situation. If you're just looking at line functionality between the total and the side, then you got to look at Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's been their ace this season. He's got a 2.85 ERA, 0.90 WHIP. His expected ERA is actually lower than his current 2.44 expected ERA. Philly has won 6 out of the last 7 Wheeler starts. And you got to look at Wheeler in first fives. This is not just because Wheeler gets out of the game and Philly's bats just wake up. This is because this is Wheeler dominating. Wheeler is 7-1-1 in first fives in his last 8 starts. Then you got Wheeler 6-1 straight up as a favorite of -150 or more. And the under is 5-2 in those situations too. And like I said, this is because Wheeler is dominating. So if I have a lean in this game as far as the total's concerned, I think we're looking at an underplay on this one. But I like splitting this in half, getting it at the run line for Philly at -125 first 5 innings, because I'm just going to focus on Barrios and Wheeler going up against each other. And if I'm backing one pitcher in this situation, I'm going to be backing Wheeler. So give me Philly -0.5 a run, first 5 as the play.
Yeah, and obviously Jose Barrios has been in the league for over a decade now. Started with Minnesota, here with the Blue Jays. See our Blue Jays guys in the house here. You guys are probably a fan of Jose Barrios. He's been pitching great all year, but you do know one thing. Barrios is the type of guy that right when he starts to look like he's really turning into an ace, that's when he really drops the ball and has a bad start. And he's been very clean recently. As I mentioned, second consecutive road start, not where he performs well. And last year, Barrios did face off against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. It was a Tuesday night in May, 5/7, 2024. Abysmal start. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 walks, 8 earned runs. And as I was talking about with one of the previous pitchers, these veteran pitchers, they do have significant patterns. So when he goes back into Citizens Bank Park, all of a sudden he's looking around. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember what happened last year. It's not exactly the vibe you want to back. These guys remember when they get hit. They're not seeing it, the dimensions of the building, the whole energy. Obviously, Philadelphia, a very hostile, loud crowd. I think ultimately Gunz is onto something here. I would align Philadelphia in the first 5 run line, really a top look, and keeping it moving. Staying in this particular environment here, AL East at NL East, Rays Mets game 3 at Citi Field, also at 1:40 p.m. I got to say yesterday, Tyler McGill just completely didn't show up to play ball. It was a disgrace. I was talking to the prop master about this on our private chat. He had some stuff with McGill and the props. I had the Mets. And you talk about the headiness of these guys. The minute I saw a rain delay, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And it's the insanity of this contemporary window of athletes across all 4 major sports. Anytime anything changes off schedule, you have no idea what's going to happen. And oftentimes it goes the opposite direction from the handicap. Gunz, McGill let me down yesterday. This matchup, Canning versus Baz, I mean, in my opinion, flip a coin.
Yeah. But listen, you're not the only one that had New York Mets. I had New York Mets first 5 innings. That one didn't go well. And I'm in a lot of these handicapping group chats. Everybody was seeing it the same way. They were saying this is a Mets spot. That's kind of dangerous when everybody's collectively on a play. Sometimes you kind of mush it. So maybe that's what happened in that case. But I digress. We move on to the next game. And when we look at these two pitching matchups, you have Shane Baz. Shane Baz has a 4.97 ERA, 1.34 whip, 4.09 expected ERA. Tampa is 5-1 straight up in Baz's last 6 starts, but he's 0-2 versus the NL East. Then you got to look at what he's been as a dog, 2-1 as a dog, and he's 5-1 in first 5s in his last 6 starts. The over is 3-1 in Baz's last 4 road starts as well, if you're looking at a total perspective. Then you got Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning, it seems like the Mets have really showed up, seeing that his statistical numbers don't make sense, but the Mets are 10-2 straight up when Cannon's a starter. But he's got a 3.22 ERA, and he's got a 4.49 expected ERA and a 1.35 whip. So very weird that the Mets somehow kind of cultivate an offense around this Canning. Then you got to look at how he's performed as a minus 140 or more favorite this year. He's 3-1 straight up in those situations, but the over is 4-0. So I'm looking at this more from a total perspective, knowing that the over is hit in Canning's last 4 home starts. I'm seeing probably the same thing here. It's not an official play, but if I was going to play this, I'm going to throw away the side on this one, and I'm going to focus a little bit more on the total. So I lean towards the over in this game. I think it's at 8 right now. So if I was going to play this game, I would play full game over 8 on this game.
Yeah, tough game. As I said, I don't think either pitcher is really trending to perform well here. Shane Baz has been very inconsistent on the road. He has not been very good in matinees. One particular road game at this division at Miami, obviously a far more pedestrian lineup with the Marlins. He pitched terribly, and it was also on a Sunday. 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs against. I think Baz is going to get lit up here. I think the Mets obviously have to bounce back. I don't like Canning in this spot, however. I think he's going to be very laborious, to use a great word. I was looking at his whip at home and his pitch count in matinees. There have been a few games where he actually didn't give up a lot of runs, but he did labor. One noteworthy game versus a divisional opponent from the AL East. He faced off against Toronto on Saturday afternoon, April 5th. Somehow the final score of the game was 3-2. Canning only went 4 innings, 89 pitches, and somehow only gave up 1 earned run. So this is where I just stay away from these games, because when I see results like 3-2, where the pitcher really didn't have a lot of control, it means that the environment is really potentially just completely scattered. I honestly could see either side winning in this game. We love to give you guys a look at every game. As we said when we introed the show, some of these games today are really coin flips. I would not be surprised to see either of these teams win either close or by some margin. So best of luck in this game and keeping it moving. Next game on the card, we like this one, so we're not gonna give you guys sideways analysis on all these games. Twins Astros again to play some pro ball in Houston. We had Houston yesterday. Now we have another opportunity to take them. Gunz, I know you like Houston, as do I.
Yeah, I love this game here, and I think it's a Houston spot all day long, because when you look at the pitching matchup, you have Simeon, Woods, Richardson. What's up with these guys with 3 names in baseball? So many, in the NBA too. It's like everybody's going to have 3 names now, so here we go. Lo and behold, on a Father's Day, another 3-name pitcher. 5.74 ERA, 1.61 whip on the year. His expected ERA is 6.09. So not great numbers there from Woods Richardson. Then he's also 1-3 in first 5s in his last 4 starts, and 0-2 in first 5s as a dog this year. So don't expect high production from the Minnesota Twins today. Also look at Richardson, 0-4 in first 5s on the road this year. And when Minnesota plays the AL West, especially as of late, they're 0-6. This is probably going to be an 0-7 spot. I hate to tell you, because Brandon Walter's been a very good pitcher for them. 1.64 ERA, 0.91 whip, 2.69 expected ERA. A little bit of a delta there because he's only got 2 starts on his belt. But this will be the first time he's had a home start. This is his home debut, and this is the first time he's been a favorite. Previous 2 starts, he was a dog. But Houston is also 9-1 straight up in their last 10 games versus the AL Central. So they've actually dominated this division. And I think they're going to do it again here with a pitcher that's being with his home debut. He's going to be jacked up. He's going to be throwing some real heat today. And I think he gets it done here. So give me Houston money line, full game as the play.
Yeah, this is an alignment play. I'll give you guys this one. This is a VIP play. My guy Craig says, drop a gift. It is Father's Day. This is your gift. Astros money line. And just jumping off that point, this kid, Woods Richardson, 24-year-old product. It kind of reminds me of Hunter Green on the Reds a little bit. Throws hard, big body dude, just young, unregulated, hasn't figured it out yet. He actually was in the minors most of May and just came back last start, got absolutely shelled at home against Texas. I don't really see it going to a point of improvement here. And I think really interesting within this matchup, Woods Richardson last year did beat Houston twice. Once in Houston 4-3. Key point on that, however, he wasn't very good. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, couple walks, 3 earned runs. He labored. He just kind of got away with it. And he did pitch very well at home against Houston midsummer last year. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Key point, though, in terms of the line, the books did like him last year at home against Houston. Minnesota was minus 145 in that game. So this is what we talk about in terms of line functionality. If the books move a line one direction and it wins, we can trust what the books are doing here. And they're moving it back to Houston. And as Gunz said, this guy, Brandon Walter, 2 road starts, both very efficient. I don't necessarily think the easiest environments either. At Tampa Bay, it's a tough out. Tampa's playing great ball right now. It's also a minor league stadium, so kind of a funky spot for road pitchers to get in there and find their comfortability. And at Cleveland, Cleveland's obviously been in the playoffs, almost every other year for the last decade. Both very impressive. I think Woods Richardson will.
That's a hitter's park too. You ever been there? If the wind's going out in that one direction, if you're a right-handed hitter, or a left-handed hitter for that matter, you can pull balls. So different dynamic here in this game for Walter.
No, 100%, 100%. And so we expect that to definitely go Walter's direction. And just final point on this, Woods Richardson this year has been abysmal on the road. 18 2/3 innings pitched, 30 hits, 13 walks, 17 earned runs. Take Houston today, collaboration, VIP official with the gun. Houston minus 138. Keeping it moving here. Athletics Royals in KC. We had this conversation yesterday. We said KC would win. All of a sudden, the Royals made Jacob Lopez look like a Cy Young candidate. I don't know where that came from. The Royals right now remind me of the conversation we just had before about the Nationals, where they should be winning these games as a favorite, but they are just finding ways to lose. That really kind of blew me away yesterday, Gunz. I texted Gunz in the middle of the afternoon, and I said to him, basically, what is going on? Gunz, how did Jacob Lopez ace these guys yesterday?
Yeah, it's unexplainable to me, but I think there's a little bit of a bounce back angle here for the Royals, but I'll tell you how I'm going to play this game in a second. A little bit of maybe a little bit more of a conservative edge, but I'm hitting at a specific spot here. But when we look at the numbers here, Jeffrey Springs, 4.64 ERA, 1.3 whip, 4.09 expected ERA. So he's playing. Wait till what you're seeing now is what you're going to be seeing in the future from Jeffrey Springs, but he's 1-6 straight up in his last 7 starts. 0-5 straight up in Springs' last 5 starts as a dog, too. So, really, the Athletics, from a bat perspective, have not performed for him. And then Springs giving up 3 or more runs in his last 4 starts doesn't help either. But when you look at Noah Camerson, I think I'm saying that right, or Cameron. Yeah, Cameron. Yeah, okay. It's Cameron. I wrote it down on my notes wrong. But he's really pitched well, even though Kansas City's not getting the wins for him, right? 2.17 ERA, 0.88 whip, 3.31 expected ERA. But Kansas City is 1-4 straight up in Cameron's last 5 starts. So I'm expecting a little bit of a better performance here from Kansas City versus this lackluster Athletics team, because Cameron's given up 6 runs he gave up 6 runs in his last start. So there's a rebound action here for against the Yankees, though. The Yankees, last time I checked, pretty good team. But he only gave up 3 runs total in his previous 5 starts. So, like I said, I think this is a good bounce back spot for Cameron. Cameron has led or tied in first 5s. He's a very good first 5 inning pitcher. 5 out of his last 6 starts, he's had the lead or tied going into the 6th inning. Then you got to look at Kansas City. They're just trying to avoid the sweep here versus the Athletics. You think the Athletics can sweep the Kansas City Royals? I'm a little bit hesitant to take them on a full game situation because maybe Kansas City is just a cold team right now. But I think in a first 5 inning perspective, when you got Springs versus Cameron, I'm going to be riding Cameron all day long, and it's a little bit, it's under the minus 150 mark, so I think it's a good price. So give me Kansas City money line minus 145, first 5 innings in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree. I can't say I love it. I just feel like there's a lot of moving parts. Of course, this guy Cameron wasn't supposed to be in the rotation coming out of camp. Obviously, a lot of injuries to this staff, but I think the most unpredictable aspect of this game is actually road pitcher Jeffrey Springs. If you go through his starts, he's all over the map. Sometimes he just gets absolutely rocked, and sometimes he's just a complete ace. But there's not a lot of predictability. Again, I was trying to figure this out. I was trying to say, okay, is it road? Is it road 1-2? Is it in division, out of division? Is it this, that? It's like all over the place. And I do think the Royals need to show up here. One thing I don't like about the Royals, just as an analytical point for you guys in the chat, as how we look at these games, the Royals are sitting here 3 games under 500. Their run differential is minus 27. So you have to look at the flat record and then look at the run differential to see if they're actually supposed to improve. Based on this metric, they're really not supposed to improve right now. Like we've talked about some teams like the Red Sox and these teams that have lost a ton of one-run games. Kansas City's just underperforming. I will say this. I said it yesterday. There will be a point this season where I think we're going to cluster win with Kansas City. Maybe it comes in July, August. I think they're going to go on a run. I think they're going to have a sample of 25 games where they're like, I don't know, 17-8 or something like that. And you're going to start to cash. Gunz, first 5 today, and we will be buying this team going forward. Keeping it moving here, still more games at 2 o'clock. Huge card in the afternoon here today. Divisional baseball, Cardinals, Brewers in Milwaukee. You saw it yesterday. We told you guys the Cardinals had lost, I believe, 6 games in a row going to yesterday's game. They have to win at least one at some point. They did. It was exactly what we said. We said Quintana was sketchy. We said Palante was sketchy. Both pitchers were not very good. Cardinals got the win. We pretty much nailed the game. Today's game, I think, is also an over. I think when you look at what's going on here, Quinn Priester has been very good at home outside of the division. Only home start this year inside of the division against the Cubs. Also a matinee, 7 earned runs. Miles McCollis, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce his name. I've actually heard both over the years. This guy is not trending very well right now. Incredibly high whip, very pedestrian. I see it over here. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've heard most announcers call him Michaelis, so I'm just going to go with the Michaelis on his name pronunciation. Miles Michaelis, his numbers, I mean, ERA-wise, he's got a 4.48 ERA, 1.31 whip, and his expected ERA is right there with his current. But it's weird because he's 7-1 straight up in his last 8 starts and 2-0 in the division. So, but he's sitting here as a dog of less than plus 140. But in those situations, he's 5-0. So I don't really know what to do with this type of cap here, especially from the side perspective. But if we look at the other side for Priester's got a 3.65 ERA, 1.3 whip, 3.84 expected ERA. Again, his numbers are, his ERA is on his current and what you're going to see in the future based on his expected. Then you got Milwaukee is 3-1 straight up in Priester's last 4 starts, so they performed for him as well. Now, Priester's already faced St. Louis. They faced him back in April. They lost the game 6-5. And he gave up 5 runs in that situation, but he was a plus 124 dog on the road in that spot. Now the line is completely flipped, making him the favorite in this spot. So maybe it is telling a Milwaukee story, but like I said, I've really hesitated to make a play in this series. The first matchup sailed over. Like I said, it was 11 runs in that game, but the total in that game was set at 7. Now you're seeing it at 8.5 right now, currently on the books. I would probably, as Shark alluded to, I would lean towards the overside on this one. If I was going to play anything in that game, nothing official, of course, staying away from this series altogether. But if I was to play something on this one, I think the over's a spot.
Yeah, no, as you mentioned, Priester here has faced St. Louis this year, and he was not particularly good. So that is a double down. I told you guys he did not pitch well, specifically at home in the division against the Cubs. Also early first pitch time on a weekend. Did not pitch well in the division, St. Louis. This seems to be a divisional thing for him. And you guys probably remember he used to pitch for Pittsburgh. So he came over here within the same division. I think what it is a lot of these divisional opponents just know what he does. his sequencing and how he approaches at-bats. So I think you're going to see the familiarity with the bats here for St. Louis kind of tee off on him this afternoon. And I think Milwaukee is going to match. I think they'll just kind of go back and forth like we saw yesterday. So I see a high-scoring game here. Best look in this game would be the over at 8 or 8.5. Staying course here, another divisional game within the NL Central, also 220, Wrigleyville, Cubs-Pirates, Game 3. Mitch Keller on the road against Colin Ray. Speaking of guys that transferred from one team in this division to the other, Colin Ray last year with the Brewers. So you got a lot of familiarity with these guys moving within this division and staying in the course. Mitch Keller's pitched great on the road. 5 road starts this year, all quality starts. This guy's a veteran. He knows how to pitch. I saw my guy Jay in the chat say Pirates Cubs under 7.5. The Gun and I had the conversation before. We aligned with you. Gunz, you want to jump off or I can continue?
I'll jump off on this one because I am going to be playing this one 100%. Mitch Keller's on the mound. His numbers from a side perspective haven't been great. He's 2-10 straight up, 3-9 to the run line in his last 12 starts. But his road starts include playing some top 10 offenses. We're talking about guys that are high on runs per game. We're talking about the Mets, the LA Dodgers, the St. Louis Cardinals. These teams are top 10 in terms of offensive production. So take that with a little bit of grain of salt because he has a 3.87 expected ERA, which is a little bit lower than his current. Also, the under is really hitting his games too. 5-1 to the under in his last 6 starts. Then you got Keller's pitched really well on the road. His ERA is a lot better. 3.19 ERA on the road versus 4.73 at home. And he's going against Colin Ray. Colin Ray, 3.92 ERA, 4.96 expected ERA. Chicago is 4-2 straight up in Ray's last 6 starts and 4-2 at home. But he's been pitching better at home versus the road. 3.67 ERA at home versus 4.23 on the road. He's given up 2 runs or less in 4 out of his last 6 home starts, too. So you have a productive pitcher at home. You're going against Keller, who's really pitched well on the road. The total is telling you a story why it's this low. Granted, it's been this low for the entire series, but these two teams just know each other very well. They battle with one another, and it seems like every single game is decided by a run because the run line for Pittsburgh is 9-1 against Chicago, dating back to 2024. I lean towards run line here, but it's a little bit juiced. But I really like the total in this one. I think it stays low. Give me Chicago under the total, 7.5 as the play.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it actually steam down to 7 in some books. That's all sharp action for sure. And our guy Tyon Blunt's calling the game here, my guy. This is precisely what it is. Mitch Keller pitches great. He gets no run support. And you go back to his worst start of the year, which, again, was still representative. 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Divisional start at St. Louis. That's precisely what happened. St. Louis beat the Pirates 5-0. It was Sonny Gray laying basically the same number, minus 175. You're going to see a very similar game here, in my opinion. I think the Cubs win. I think they win scoring 5 or less runs. And I think the Pirates don't score much at all. The 2 best looks in this game, Gunz official, I'm unofficial. These are free plays in this game, under and Cubs. And just one final point on the price dispersion in this game, which applies to any Major League Baseball game. But when you see the favorite on the money line at minus 160 and you see plus 1.5 at minus 166, the books are basically pricing you out of both markets. They're basically making either side of the game just so overpriced to win one unit, where if anything goes awry, all of a sudden you're losing 1.66 or 1.6. So it's just a garbage game to bet price-wise, either side. Under is definitely the best look, and we think the Cubs do get the victory. 2:35 p.m., the other side of the Chicago baseball ticket, the White Sox at the Rangers. Game 3 of this series. Aaron Savali making his first start for the White Sox, recently traded from the Brewers. Kumar Rocker, another great name. You guys remember John Rocker back in the day, closer for the Braves. Kumar, when I heard this, I was like, Harold and Kumar meets John Rocker. And truthfully, it's kind of what has happened here. This guy has an 8.87 ERA. Gunz, I mean, if we're talking about like dystopian realities, Harold and Kumar merge with John Rocker. Here's a goofy-ass pitcher named Rocker who sucks. I mean, like, it's ridiculous, but what's going on here?
I just completely passed on this game, but yeah, Kumar 8.87 ERA. His whip is 1.84. He has a 7.15 expected ERA. Texas is 2-4 straight up when Rocker's the starter. He's given up 3 runs or more in 5 of his starts this year. So yeah, this guy is a gas can, is what we call him. But you guys, Aaron Savali on the other side, playing his first game, getting traded from the Brewers because he didn't want to go into the bullpen in middle relief. He says, I'm a starter. And Milwaukee said, fine, you're traded to the White Sox. That's a punishment. 4.91 ERA in the year, 4.55, but that's all basically playing for the Brewers. First start, like I said, with the Chicago White Sox. So not a lot of data with the team. And then you have a gas cannon Rocker. I just completely passed on this game. I'm so hesitant to take. I like White Sox in certain spots when certain pitchers are in there, and this isn't one of them. So yeah, complete pass for me on this game.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about games that are just like so difficult to handicap. Savali making his first start with the White Sox, Rocker looking terrible, huge line, awful spot. Just stay away from this game. Our guys are trying to cap the game. Adam says he thinks the White Sox win this game. You know, truthfully, if you're betting very small and you just want to like spray sides, which is actually really fun, particularly on a Sunday, just like hanging out, I would kind of lean towards the White Sox as well, at least plus 1.5. I think Savali's got upside. Rocker doesn't look good, but definitely not a banger spot here at all. Next round of games, 4 o'clock. We got 2, and then we have a nightcap game. Guardians, Mariners. Mariners trying to sweep off a 9th inning walk-off last night. 2 late runs. We had suggested yesterday we thought the Mariners would get there. We did say it would be tight. Pretty much nailed that handicap for you guys. We always love to see when the teams come back in the 9th for us and we get that variance uptick in our direction. This is going to be a tough game. Emerson Hancock, not exactly an ace. Luis Ortiz, very sketchy on the road. Hancock did face off against the Guardians early last year. Fairly anecdotal. Obviously, a lot of time has passed since then. But I do think the number is pulling towards Hancock yet again. No matter how many runs he gives up, when he's favored in a game, he does perform well, or at least the Mariners do, I should say. I would lean towards the Mariners again. I think it's going to be a tight one. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I completely passed on this one too. And you said he does well as a favorite. I disagree with that because he's 1-3 straight up when Hancock starts as a favorite this year for Seattle. So maybe I'm getting different numbers than you. He's also 1-4 straight up in his last 5 home starts. But on the other side, it's Ortiz underperforms in these situations too. He's 1-7 in first 5s in his last 8 starts, and he's 1-4 in first 5s on the road. His expected ERA is a little bit higher than his current. The under is 9-3-1 in his in Cleveland's last 13 road games too. But when I look at both sides, I find arguments for both pitchers. And you have 2 pitchers that are kind of mediocre at best. You have Ortiz and Hancock. This is just a game that, you know, I find arguments where I should fade both sides. So I'm going to just stay away from this game completely.
Yeah, no, you're right. I honestly have not bet this guy in at least a few weeks. And I was recalling early season, he won a road game at Cincinnati in extras 11-7. He was a small favorite there at open. He also was a home favorite against the Angels and won. He was a home favorite against the Nats and lost. He pitched well, though. 5 1/3, only 2 earned runs. He also lost a real tight game on Wednesday, June 4th against Baltimore at home. Same story, though. 5 2/3, 1 earned run. So he has performed okay. I think going back to last year as a favorite, and when he's a favorite, he does pitch well, I think is the point here. So I think you're going to get a reasonable effort from Hancock. Ultimately, it's a tough game. I would lean towards the Mariners to get the sweep, though. And I said it yesterday. I think the Mariners have a massive upward movement in them. And our guy says the Mariners have a better matchup. They've got a pretty good lineup, if we're being honest, and they're due to kind of sustainably go up in this window. So just leaning towards the Mariners, very tough game. Final 4 o'clock game, more divisional baseball, NL West, Padres, Diamondbacks. Yesterday I was wearing the Diamondbacks hat on this show, and I got to say, talk about a win yesterday. 5 runs, bottom 9. I had actually written the game off. I thought, it's over with, particularly when the Padres scored a couple extra runs in the top of the 9th. You love to see that. We cashed it. Not exactly quick, fast, but we did get there. Interesting matchup here today. Pivetta versus Kelly. Kelly, a veteran pitcher, very good data. Pivetta, not very good on the road early, first pitch times. Best look in this game. I think I could definitely get to a play on this. I think this is probably an over this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think if there's any way to play this, you stay with the total and you play the over. And I'll tell you why, because you have Pivetta. Pavetta's 2-4 straight up in his last 6 starts, but San Diego is 5-0 to the over when Pivetta is on the mound versus divisional opponents. So he's an over pitcher when he has to face teams inside his division. Also, this is the second highest total for San Diego when Pivetta is the starter too. So maybe the line is kind of telling a story here, especially on the total side. And then you got Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly's been a really good pitcher this year, 3.18 ERA, 0.99 whip, and his expected ERA is 4.03. And in first fives, he's done very well. He's 8-1-5 this season in first five, 5-0-2 in first fives when he pitches at home. And then you got to look at the over situation for Arizona. Arizona is 4-1-1 to the over when Kelly is a favorite of minus 125 or more. In this situation, he is. The totals in both of the first 2 games were 9.5, 9.5, and they split on over and under. And this one's sitting at 8.5. I know it dropped down a run, but I think that's more because the pitchers that are up in this situation are a little bit better than in the previous 2 games. So I think the only way to play this is to play the over. Not officially on it yet. I could be on it later. I'll have to figure it out, look at a few more situations. But I think if you're going to be taking this one, it would be the over or pass.
Yeah, I think you and I could do a collab on this. I'm going to drop a little more analysis. I think we're going to get there when I talk about this. So I was saying Pivetta in terms of his spot-specific analysis. Very key stuff here. Road starts in the division or road starts at early times. You got to go back to his second start of the year at the Cubs. It was a Saturday afternoon at Wrigley. Terrible. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 walks, 3 earned. Got pulled early. First 5 over hit there. Actually, the game backdoored under like crazy, 7-1. We don't love that. Could be a first 5 over here, actually. Slightly later on, divisional road start on a Sunday at Colorado. This Colorado team this year has one of the worst lineups in the history of Major League Baseball. So this is not like altitude. It's automatic. This team hasn't even scored at Coors Field this year. Horrible there yet again. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 walks, 6 earned runs. That was an over 9-3. And most recently, Wednesday afternoon at San Francisco, June 4th, another over 6-5, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 earned runs. So he's not pitching well in the division or at early times. And key point on Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly is, as I said, a veteran pitcher where you can look at his data. He basically does the same thing every time against an opponent. Last year to close the season, September 27th, 2024, he had a really poor start, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs against this lineup. I think you're going to see 10 runs here today. Gunz, should we get him official for the guys?
Yeah, let's do it. I like the over. Let's do over. Was it 8.5?
I think we're looking at 8.5. Let me see what the current line is here.
Yeah, it's 8.5. I'm seeing FanDuel 8.5 minus 115 right now.
Yeah, I just think it's a really poor spot for both pitchers. And both pitchers are actually coming off of good starts leading into this game as well. Last start for Kelly at home, he pretty much aced the Mariners. 0 earned runs over 6 innings. And Pivetta last start, actually, he was not very good at home last start. That was against the Dodgers, a bit of an outlier. I just think in general you're going to get 10 runs here. So we'll give you guys a free play on that, over 8.5. Final game on the card, 7 o'clock in L.A. More divisional baseball. This is great stuff. We got a lot of information. Dodgers hosting the Giants, game 3 of this series, Sunday Night Baseball. Talking about a lot of information. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information in terms of these pitchers against these opponents. Dustin May obviously missed all of last year. He hasn't faced the Giants in over 2 years, so we can't even really cross-reference with that. It's so far in the past. Kyle Harrison, really a blue-chip type of pitcher, crafty lefty for the Giants. Not a lot of matchup data against the Dodgers. I would lean towards an over here yet again. I don't really have a side, however. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I looked at both sides on this one, and there's arguments on both sides. You have Kyle Harrison, 4.55 expected ERA. That's pretty much right where his ERA is currently. This fifth start of the year, fourth road start. He's 3-1 straight up when he pitches. But all those were as a favorite. He's sitting here as a dog here. He didn't really play any good teams. So to take it with a grain of salt, he played Washington, Miami, and Colorado. Those are kind of the bottom feeders of Major League Baseball. But San Francisco 2-1 to the under when Harrison starts, but his starts were versus divisional opponents. But when he starts versus divisional opponents, the totals were 11 runs per game in both those situations. That was San Diego and Colorado. So the over is also a 13-1 to the over as a dog of plus 120 or more for San Francisco. So really, this spot with Harrison pitching is more of an over story. However, you go to Dustin May, it tells an under story because when he pitches at home, he's 5-1 to the under at home, and the Dodgers are 3-1 to the under in May starts versus divisional opponents. So over, under, and then looking at the side, a little bit all over the place with Dustin May, and of course, Kyle Harrison really hasn't played a team with this much caliber before. I'm hesitant to play the side. I'm hesitant to play the total. So just a complete pass for me on this night game. I'm not going to sweat out a night game. I'm going to cap Monday's card and have myself a good Father's Day.
I mean, you're speaking facts there. I mean, sometimes the night game, particularly when it's not great, it's not even worth the stress. I will say, if you guys want to bet this game, this guy Harrison on the road this year, 3 road starts at Miami, Washington, and Colorado. Those are probably the 3 worst teams in the National League.
Oh, yeah.
So you talk about a guy who has what I call fool's gold in terms of his sample. That's not an indicator of what he's going to do long term, particularly against a team that is so historically great like the current Dodgers. If I had to lean anything in this game, it would just be stock, kind of square, Dodgers money line, maybe Dodgers first 5. I think they get them early and often, and that is that. We got best bets on Father's Day, and let's go. Happy Father's Day 2025. Sundays are for the Sharps. Gunz, top plays.
Best bets that I got here, of course, I'm going with the Yankees run line. I know I'm wearing the Red Sox hat. I'm fading my team today, but I can't ignore Max Fried and his dominance, especially against a gas can in Brian Bayo. Also, the second one I like as a best bet, Houston money line minus 126. You have Walter coming in there, home debut of the season. Great numbers as a pitcher. He's going against a gas can in Wood Richardson. This is going to be a perfect spot for the Houstons to get it done today. Houston money line minus 26. Those are my 2 top bets for Sunday.
Yeah, we got a lot of alignment here. We said this is a tough card across the board. So when Gunz and I really detail it, the alignment becomes very real. Yankees run line and the Astros. And we're giving you guys a collaboration free play at 4 o'clock, as I said, over Padres, Diamondbacks at 8.5. Let's put together a small parlay, and then we'll get out of here. We almost hit it yesterday. We got kind of outliered with the KC game and one of the other ones, but we're going to hit one of these as we go forward here. So, Gunz, let's open it up. Give me a couple, and we'll get going.
Well, I mean, we got to put our 2 best bets on there, right? I mean, we got to put Houston money line. I think put the I mean, I might as well just put Yankees money line on there. Let's not do the run line to make it a little bit more conservative edge on that one. Yeah. We got to put that. Let's put that over on there for the Arizona. Was it the San Diego Arizona game?
Yep.
What else are you thinking?
What else did we say? Under Cubs.
Yep, under Cubs. Pittsburgh under.
Okay. What else? I'm just trying to think. What were the other bets?
Philly, what do you think? Philly money line.
Philly money line. I don't know.
You want to skip that?
I don't think Barrios is going to pitch very well. I think the best bet in that is probably Philly first 5 money line.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go with Philly first 5 money line. It's going to be juice, but it's a parlay, so no problem there.
Yep.
Don't like the Nats game. Braves game is a sketch. Orioles game got contaminated with a pitching change. Tigers game is also contaminated. Royals are very sketch in so many ways. Let's go with the Cardinals Brewers over.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I like that one.
Yeah. That's 6. Let's get one more. Are there any other spots that have any sort of like upside that are not just totally all over the place?
Did we put the Pitt Cubs under on there yet?
Got that, yeah. We also thought the Cubs would win the game, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't really love it.
It's a 1-run game either way with these teams. They're already split in this series, so I'm kind of hesitant on doing that.
Let me. So we'll get a six legger is perfect, no problem. Yeah. There's no point in forcing plays and then having it have
it's just a small card today. It's a lot of pitchers with downside, upside. Yeah, those are the best ones, I think.
Want to see if anybody had any questions or comments in the chat. I'll type it in the chat as we go here real quick.
Yep. Just going through. Looks like H-Town likes the Mariners money line. Let's see if we got any questions here. I don't know. Tayon was talking about the first 5 over, and I think he was talking about the Dodgers San Fran game. Like we talked about, I think the San Francisco is more of an overside, and then Dustin May is more of an under pitcher. So it kind of goes both ways. Don't really have a good look on that one. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one, Shark.
No, I'm just typing. I'm typing in the thing here, so just keep going.
Okay, yeah. Just going through. Looks like Adam Westbury likes Tatis plus 2 bases in the over 1.5 home runs tonight. Smashes Kelly. Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the over side, it kind of correlates. You're going to need some hitting production from San Diego to get to that over. Going through. Looks like Cameron likes Contreras, Josh Smith, 2 homers. Don't know about that one. Not really a prop guy myself. If you have any questions, you guys can just throw them into the chat down at the bottom. We're taking them here. Looks like H-Town says Astros money line, Mariners money line, Angels money line, 3-leg parlay. The Angels one is a little bit scary to me, even though his numbers, Kikuchi's numbers really look great. Especially, it seems like the Angels have really showed up for him. But in this position as a dog, I'm a little bit hesitant to take him. There's a parlay for you guys today, in case you missed it. But that's how we're going to ride it here with that 6-legger. Just to refresh on that point with Angels, Kikuchi on the road has been terrible. Stay away from the Angels. Do not like that at all. Parlay 6/15/2025. Happy Father's Day, guys. Yankees getting steamed down. I was looking at this. All these things are getting steamed down. Good for the syndicates. They always bet the other side of what we're looking. It's crazy to me. I talked about this in basketball all year. Like, we would be putting out sides, and it's getting steamed the other direction, and then they get blown out. Like, I'm so happy it's getting steamed against us. We were doing that. Remember, we were doing that with football too, where the lines were moving in the opposite direction because we bought them on Monday, and it didn't matter because they were just
like, who the hell is steaming the Red Sox right now and steaming the Twins? What is going on? All right. Anyway, Yankees -177, Astros -120, under Cubs, Pittsburgh, over Milwaukee, St. Louis, over San Diego, Arizona, and Philly first 5 money line. You guys got to look at your books for that number. I didn't feel like going through different books, but that's it for today. Gunz, give them some words, and I'll close it out.
Yeah, go check us out on Telegram. If you don't know where to go, the link's down below as you're watching this video on YouTube. Check us both out on social media platforms. You can check me out at Gunz Picks on Instagram, X, and TikTok, and also @Gunz on Instagram. Please check that out. Give me a follow, give me a like, drop in my video plays. I'm dropping all my early looks, leans, and everything like that on there. A lot of content coming on that channel. So yeah, just go check me out there.
Yeah, that's a wrap for this one. An hour and 4 minutes in the books. We appreciate everybody in the chat who interacts. We see you guys. Great conversation. Those of you guys who do not interact, we see you guys behind the screen as well. We want to bring the best energy possible while we discuss professional baseball. JA will be back tomorrow hosting the Prop Master and Luke Shuey. Gunz and I will be back for the matinee morning show on Wednesday and Thursday morning. And, of course, every Saturday and Sunday going forward at 11 a.m. That's MLB Player Performance Father's Day 2025, June 15th, 2025. Sundays are for the Sharps. Have a great day. Let's cash tickets. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my